I don't know if we have everybody inside, but if somebody comes late, they can join. Welcome. It's nice to be here, and it's kind of a privilege to have these two sessions with you guys. The first one, let's talk more about the. I think this is not about the game itself or the goaltending so much in this first 45 minutes we have. Let's talk more about the kind of coaching the human being, because in the end we're not coaching the goalies, we're coaching humans. So I found out that no matter how well you can do the RVH or SIGA or whatever, if you don't handle this, then it doesn't matter. This is more important, and that's why I want to talk about this. Let's try do this so that this is not kind of a one-man show, because I believe that there is so much knowledge, so much experience in this room too. So let's work together a little bit. Let's work in the groups. Let's talk together. I have these slides, but I want to hear your voice too, and then I believe that we can find out the kind of maybe the best result with this group for sure. A little bit background about myself. I think it was there already on the wall. I'm from Finland. I always like to say this native of Kempele, because I don't know if I was a good goalie when I was a kid, but there was sure one a little bit better in that small village where I am from, and that guy is Pekka Rinne. He's a really good friend of mine, so I don't know. Did I practice hard enough? No, but for sure there was one more talented guy also in that place. I've been mainly working in Finland, in Oulu, in Tampere.
Yeah, follow around.
Let's take a little bit of lights up. Koitin oikein puolella, mitä lähti takaa. Koitin ylempi. See, that's better. So I've been working as a head coach in the juniors, as a goalie coach in the juniors, as a kind of a instructor in the Finnish Ice Hockey Association about a year ago. 1 year ago I had a really nice chance. I was in the World Champs in Denmark. We had a big seminar with the association over there, and Kari Jalonen, the head coach of the SC Bern in Switzerland, asked me that they don't have a goalie coach and they need one, and can I join the team? And it was like hard decision leaving the family back in Finland and move to Switzerland, but I think it was, in the end, it was worth of that. I got the chance to work with I don't know, one of the best goalies in Switzerland, in Swiss League, Leonardo Cenoni, who was also here playing in the World Champs with Reto Perra. And it was like really kind of eye-opening year for me, and also for the kind of you're not the goalie coach, you can go away.
You can see the game against the goalies.
Like kind of eye-opening for me, for especially for this first session we had, how we kind of set up the goals and how we coach the human being or the person, and it was really good for doing that with the professional kind of really elite goalie, and it worked out well and gives me confidence that hey, this is a good thing, because before I only did this with the young guys, young goalies like these guys. When these guys were juniors, they now play as a pros, but back in the day they were just juniors. The first session is I had a privilege to work with the national junior teams in Finland for 8 years, and I saw, you know how Finland is doing right now, how good players we are getting to the NHL. Not talking about the goalies now, talking about the players like Laine, Aho, Ranta, and these guys. I had a chance to see how it kind of developed in the association, what the association did, kind of getting more to the individuals coaching and this comprehensive coaching style. And I think that has been the reason that we are getting those good players right now from Finland. And I had a chance to kind of see it so close that I could say that I'm kind of I'm the child of the Finnish Ice Hockey Association, and I believe in that system, that what they are doing, and I try to follow that in my work too. The Finland is such a small country. Okay, we have maybe more registered hockey players than, for example, Switzerland, but comparing to Sweden, Russia, Canada, USA, it's a small country, 5 million inhabitants, and that's why we have to take care of each talented individual. We can't just let somebody go away. For example, this guy, Patrick Laine, he had struggles when he was kid, but the association, his club, worked with him, find out the ways to kind of raise him up, and you can see the result now in Winnipeg. So that's maybe a little bit of a background for this. Also, the background for this first session is that like back in the day, the coaching was more like coach tells the player what to do. Do it like this, do it like this. No kind of cooperation between the goalie and the coach. It was like from the coach to the goalie. I think nowadays it's going more like this. Do you guys agree? That it's getting more kind of interaction thing, and maybe even like should be like this. And I found this, for example, in Bern with goalies I had there. They work together quite much. They talk, they cooperate, they learn from each other. For example, when we had a little bit maybe struggles with Genoni in November, he wanted to see the other goalies' videos because he found out that he's playing the kind of tight positional game better, and he wanted to see. We always use the behind the net cam, which is a really good tool for the goalie. We use that, and he kind of learned from him and get his game better. But this is still just a background. The whole comprehensive coaching, you can divide it in 3 chapters, and it starts from this coaching the person. And I think that this is the most important thing. How I do it is that the first meetings I have with the goalie, for example, if I start on Monday with the new goalies in Finland, and I'm quite sure that we're not gonna talk about this ice hockey until we first time go to the ice. Okay, we go to the ice in 2 weeks, but still, like, I wanna know them. I wanna know how their life is, what is in there, how is the family, girlfriend, wife, whatever. This is the most important. The everyday life, habits, and kind of building the ownership, which we are talking about in this session. The second one, before the goaltending, is the athlete. I believe in that if you are not a great athlete, you cannot be a good goalie. You have to be a good athlete, and in there is these kind of technical skills, nutrition, sleep, for sure. If you're not doing these well, it's quite hard to be a good goalie. and the game comes in the end. We don't need to talk about that. We can talk about that in the afternoon more. There will be lots of these 3-word kind of things, but the thing we are talking now is that how we can build the ownership for the goalie you are coaching. Because as you know that if you are not buying the idea, then you are not working your ass off for that. So it has to be like the simple way is that it's not my thing, it's the goalie's thing. I have to, if I am the goalie, I have to feel that this is my thing. This is my thing, and as a coach, okay, different levels, maybe the younger kids, they need more that guidance than the older ones for sure. But as the coach, we are just like the guides who can sometimes the goalie is like going too blind and looking only on one way. Then he needs more someone who can show the way, and the coach is that person. But in the end, they have to feel that this is my thing, and what is in there that you can kind of have that ownership of your personal development is that you have to feel this autonomy, which is just like that this is my thing. I'm the one who's deciding what I'm gonna do. I'm the one who's deciding that how do I play that RBH or capability means that you have to have goals, but those goals, they have to be kind of reachable. We will talk in the end of this session about that. The goals has to be kind of realistic, not too low, not too high. Then the goalie will feel that I can do this. The fellowship for sure comes from the teammates that you are part of the team. But no one else will do the work for you, and I have to feel that this is my thing as a goal. About the motivation, it's basically the part of this. We have different kind of motivations and I think that if you go to the really kind of top level in the professional hockey, they have these both, I think. Someone would say that it's all about the money or whatever, but if you don't have this, then it's gonna be a long road. If you only get kind of rewards from the or the pleasure from the possible reward, you get a paycheck from the score. You might. I met Leonardo Cenoni yesterday, and we talked about basically about this thing too, and we talked that it's a really long road if your only goal in this is to win championship or be the best goalie of the league or whatever. Okay, we won the championship last year, and it was like the best feeling ever when the buzzer sounds and the game is over. But if you work 12 months only for that one day, then it's like I found out that the trip to the end of the road has to be the kind of success, not just the end of the road. So how we can, as a coaches, how we can strengthen this and give the goalie a chance to find this kind of inner motivation. I think that's the key. Again, three things. How we can build again this one. 3 things. This is more like mental coaching thing. How we can develop the self-confidence, responsibility, and the performance mindset. This is more like the game, how you can handle your emotions in the game. And it's always a long process which is never going to kind of be ready.
Okay, may I ask
Yes.
for a short while? I was just asked by the reception, there is one car from Innsbruck. parked at the disabled place. Is it somebody from you parking there? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, but so that we can stay in the time, let's make a small groups, maybe 3 persons. You can go somewhere. Let's spend like, I think, maximum 5 minutes. Think about this, put some words up there. What are the tools for goalie coach to help goalie to find these autonomy, capability, and fellowship? You don't need to think it too deep. Just put on a few words you think that are the most important things. And what are the tools for the goalie coach to develop goalies' self-confidence, responsibility, and performance mindset? And then, if we think this whole thing now like it's like athlete-centered coaching, that the goalie is the one who's deciding what I'm gonna do and where I'm gonna go. What are the possibilities in that, and what are the threats in this? Okay, 5 minutes max. Just a few words. Just take the group close to you and let's put some words on.
Aika hyvä
Bench to be able to
Last year, Tim Wilson's group was best man. We had one of the best in the country. Basically, I think like the best way to go. And that's the me and the coach is going to because the idea is if he plays it forward, he plays it
It's okay, you can edit it later.
I think we can continue from this for sure during the day, and from this subject you can easily talk long and so on. Let's do it so that I will put some slides on there about this, more about the self-confidence, responsibility and performance mindset, and then we can talk about that if there was something that you guys had kind of extra for this, or if you think that this is really no, not that. I think we don't have time now to go through every single one of those questions by group to group. But what do you think? How you can increase self-confidence? There's a lot of things over there in the list, but I think that one of the biggest things here, that you recognize your strengths and your weaknesses, that you kind of realize and you have a kind of realistic view of yourself, that you are not living in some kind of a dream that I'm really good in this and this and this and in everything, and I'm such a good goalie. It's good to have that confidence too, but that you know this will build your self-confidence for sure, but Also, this helps you to know what to do. The weaknesses is the word I never use with the goalies. It's more like things to improve. I think this is negative word. Self-evaluation for sure is important thing that you can, like we talk about this, that you can evaluate yourself realistic, and goalie coach for sure is a big help in there. Easy way, easy results. If you can get some results you can really measure. For example, the physical tests is the easy way for that. Setting own limits in the practice, I think that this is the one thing that connects the top goalies. I don't know what you guys think. You have seen like good goalies, but I think that this is the thing that connects the good goalies, that they really battle in the practice. They fight for every puck. They want to make a save on every puck. Do you agree on that? You can, especially working with the juniors. Lots of kind of good junior goalies are like a little bit lazy in this one. They don't fight. They don't battle. They can't. They are not setting their own limits in the practice. This is really critical, especially for the kids and for the juniors, and also this one. What do you think about this list? Did you have something to add? Or on this side, did you have something to add? How you can build self-confidence?
More reps.
More reps.
More reps.
Mm.
Repetition.
Mm. Yeah, I think you can easily put it in here. When you know how to do things, it helps you in the game. If you have the kind of toolbox in the different situations. What else? Any good points?
I think collaborating with players in a team, and when goalies get often the feedback from players, how they respect and appreciate the goalie's work, whether it's in training or games. A lot of times goalies are isolated. They think different. We are different. No questions about that. But to get that feeling that you're accepting. Also, the backup goalie's role is very difficult. And have 20 guys, leader players, not always laughing when they score goals on you, but they actually recognize you're important. I've seen that increases self-confidence within the goalie, but also as a team member when you talk about fellowship.
Yeah.
It's very important that team and goalie feels that they work together.
Yeah.
So I think that could be collaborating with the team and players as a path of increasing self-confidence.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Totally agree on that. What else?
What I see in practice often is that goalies have to take too much pucks. So younger ones, I see it from the younger ones, and then they can't take 200 pucks. Well, and then self-confidence is a problem because he is getting very tired in the brain and in the legs, and so where is the border where you have to say, okay, stop, it's enough, and then
Yeah, that's like a common problem, I think.
okay.
Practicing with the young kids. If you think about the team practices, that player coaches, they don't kind of think so much about the goalie, they just take care that each player get enough reps. That's the challenge. That's the challenge always.
I think understanding outside influences, like for example social media, where we're never as good as we think we are, we're never as bad as we think we are. Lots of opinions, lots of forwards will come back and shake their head because they're always just letting off 3-0 or not the minus. So I think it's fair to say understanding having people that you trust and appreciating their opinion, maybe over and above anybody else's almost. And keep it not necessarily small circle, but having people there that understand what you're going through, understand and being a good sounding board as opposed to relying on lots of noise from outside of it. So it drags that down.
Yeah. Good. Let's go on. How about the responsibility? Young goalies, especially this one. When I was working as a head coach, this guy with the Red Bull logo on his shirt was my assistant over there. And, I was working as a head coach, and the big problem in under 18 team was that the players, they thought that they are so good players that they can quit school and just be professional hockey players in the age of 16 or 17. And I think it's about the responsibility. Do you understand the meaning of the education later in your life for sure, but also that if you can't handle the education and playing hockey as a kid or as a teenager, how the hell can you handle the professional hockey goalie's life or what everything that's in there? And I think that a really good example again is that Genoni, that he's just finishing his university graduation. I was talking with his wife when we had had something after the season, and I was talking with her, and she said that I'm so happy that Leo is finally getting the graduation from the university, and I was happy for the second that finally the school and the hockey kind of is over, that now we can live a kind of a more normal life. But then he comes home and he says that I'm gonna do the doctor graduation next. And he plays ice hockey as a professional. He plays like 70 games in a year. So it's not about that. But this will, taking care of the school as a young kid makes sense. Athletic skills, I think this again especially for the young goalies is big thing. Like we talked in the beginning, that if you want to be a good goalie, you have to be a great athlete. You have to be able to take care of these nutrition, sleep. Maybe there is some example to follow, some kind of idol you can follow up. What do you think about this responsibility? What else would you add in here, or would you kind of pick some of these points over any of those else?
I could add there that the mental side of the life skills, like if you're a young guy that you are coming to the practice, and how he can separate that he doesn't bring the school in his head to the ice, or vice versa, or you're an adult athlete that you're still not worrying the family issues on the ice on the games, you know, like the mental side of the life skills, how you can separate the things what you're doing. Are you practicing, are you playing, or are you going to school? That you don't bring the stress to the ice on the things what you do.
How can you do it?
It's of course.
How can you help as a coach?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's this through the discussion, and like of course through the experience. What, for example, of the older players, other players, maybe sharing the fellowship athlete 24/7. But I think that's also the good skill to talk with the athlete. Yeah. In my opinion.
You can set pre-game routines, pre-practice routines. Maybe bring 3 hours before the game, 3 hours before a practice, you start doing the same thing over and over again, and it brings you into the game clean, rather than having anything else in your mind.
Yeah.
I think it's very important when you're talking about life skills, but it has nothing to do with goalies.
What, nothing?
It has nothing to do with goalies alone, players,
Yeah.
everybody around.
Yeah.
I mean, if your responsibility to take care of your daily routines in order to succeed is very important. My question is, how many club coaches or organizations demand a GPA average from players in order to play?
Yeah.
It has to come from somewhere. If you look at social, if you look at society identity right now, certain top players skip high school. They barely speak English when you interview them after the games in these World Championships.
Yeah.
What kind of image is that for young players? I don't need no school.
Yeah, that's the.
My name is in media every second game I play because I score goals.
Yeah.
So I think hockey has to change the approach to educate people, parents, if that's what we want.
Yeah. Right about that. Especially the parents too, because
They're
they
very
are the
important.
ones who make the decisions at home. Else? And we can go on. The last one, the performance mindset. I'm a big believer of this sentence of John Wooden, one of the most successful coaches in the college basketball back in 50 years ago maybe. But for me the score, okay, it's easy to say when everything goes well and you win and get the success, then it's easy to kind of be like this. But I still believe in this also in the moment of failure or in the moment of defeat, that it's kind of not about the score, because the people in the box, they will press the buttons and put the score up there on the board. You can see it there after 60 minutes of the game. So how to find your own optimal mindset, I think, is the key in this one. Okay, for some goalies for sure, because we're different people. For some of the goalies, the thing is to kind of fight for the score, for sure. For some of the goalies it is, but as far as I have found it, is that if you can concentrate on kind of your performance, on the things that you are doing, it's like a more long-lasting development thing. Like we had in the playoffs, we had lots of struggle. We played again. We won the regular season, and we played the number 8 team, which was Geneva, and we had so much struggles. They won the first game. We tied. Then they won the third game, and there was all kinds of shit going on all the time in the game. Such a for the goalie, kind of lucky bounces, puck hitting the D-man, going over him, like kind of playing good, but still always allowing those 3 or 4 goals, and we lost the games. Even though when we won, kind of allowing those goals. But like we talked yesterday with Leo, he said that it was really big thing for him, because we talked about that. I wanted to hear a little bit feedback about my coaching, like those positive and negative things, and he said about the playoffs that it was really kind of important for him that the coach was never kind of panicking about the result or the score, because there was lots of kind of easy goals, but in the end he was doing his thing all the time well. And we just kept believing on that just keep on doing like this all the time, your game, and the result will be good in some point. I hope we just have time for that, and we had the time. But it was a really good feedback for the coach, and that's I want to tell it to you guys too, that it's like just believe in that process more. Believe in that process more, not the score. Always look behind the score and look at the process, how it goes. Sometimes it might be that you allow 5 goals, sometimes it might be like 50 saves and shutout, but you always have to find that process from there and kind of develop step by step. What do you guys have for this? Something to add?
So one thing, and I think this is for players as well as goalies, like frequent self-assessment. So after training, after games, what went well, what didn't go well, what did I learn, that kind of stuff. So you can take those positives forward
some Finnish mental coach has this sentence that either you win or you learn. And I kind of like that. Okay, in the moment of victory you have to learn too, for sure, if you want to develop, but it's like you kind of never lose. You can learn, and that's how I try to always do as a coach. That we just can learn from this. We lost a game, you allow 6 goals, but we can learn from this. What we can learn from it. Sometimes the goals are like you have nothing to do with those. What else? Then I will go on. The last thing in this first session is the kind of, how would I say, the goal of this, what we talked earlier. For me, this goal setting tool is the kind of foundation of my kind of coaching process. It's like everything for me. And I have been doing this with the juniors earlier, like I told, with the goalies. We did it with Antti, with the under 18 players, with the whole team, which is quite a hell of a work for the coach because you have to sit down every month with all the players. For the goalie coaches, it's more easier when we have these 3 or 4 guys to work with. It's like we have to have these big goals. We have to have the dream where you're gonna be in 3 years, and what are the big kind of result goals for this season. Then there is more these kind of process goals, short-term goals, which are kind of, this is the thing. I will show the sheet next of what we did in Bern, but they have to be reachable every day. Many times, you know, when the goalie sets up the goals that I want to have the save percentage this year like 92. I want to be in the World Juniors national team. Whatever. I want to have a bigger contract after this year. So when you come to the rink, how can you grab on those goals? How can you just reach those goals every day, because it's like such a big thing somewhere over there. So that's why this whole process is kind of crucial and important, that you can reach those goals every day. And how it goes is that I show you this one. It's really small. I think you guys can see it, but it's like we did here. This is Genoni's goals from last year. These are the big goals he had. Under 100 goals against in regular season. This first one tells a lot of the person he is. This is not his. It's not about him. This is about the team and the other goal, because we played 50 games and he knew that he's not gonna play all those 50 games. So he wanted us to have goals against below 2, under 100 goals. And the funny thing in here is that everything looked good. Maybe something like 6 or 7 games before the end of the season, the process was going really good, and it looked like, yeah, we're gonna do this easily, because we had something like maybe 6 games before the end, we had 25 goals to under 100. In the end, we played the last game against Lugano, and we lost the game, and it was 99 goals. So we did it. It was like, I had to say on the radio for the assistant coach downstairs that don't pull the goalie now. But we did it. But these are really kind of big goals that you can't reach every day. But these are good goals, and these are result goals. Then we had goals for the game and goals for the physics. But this is the thing. This is the most important thing in this goal setting thing we did. Here we just always, like here you can see, person, athlete, goalie. We always set up goals on this part of life, which is like the whole life. What you can do better as an athlete. I have been working with the juniors, and sometimes it was that for this athlete, for the next month, that I will change in my breakfast. I will leave the cereals and I will start eating porridge in the morning. And I will add like fruits in my breakfast. Such a small things you can reach every day, you can do every day. And then as a goaltender, what you can do better. Okay, maybe here, because we talk about a really good athlete, maybe we didn't have so much kind of things outside of the ice, because he was kind of taking care of himself. But always we started like goalie sets his strengths. What are the things that are looking good? What is feeling good? What is going well? And we write those down. Then we think about what are the things to develop next month. And I think that the goalie too, he found out this one, that it was really kind of a process. He can go on every day, he can reach every day. He knew where to concentrate on the practices, on the games, off ice and everything. And it was like going step by step, as you can see. And the goal is always like, if the screenshots, if these seam passes, east-west passes, is the kind of weakness or thing to develop next month, is that next month it should be here. And the ending, we did this for these 6 periods, and the process was going well, and he kind of, okay, we talk about the really good goalie who has been maybe, what do you think, David, how long he has been the best, one of the best goalies in the Swiss league? 7 years, 8
Quite
years?
a while, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say he was in the top 3 the last 10 years.
Yeah. So he has been really good for a long time, but still he can find something from his game and kind of identify his own game maybe better with this tool. And when we went to the playoffs, we only had to do this. I want to play my game, and what are the kind of main tools for playing my game? It's that he has the speed, he has the physics, which was really important for him. He wanted to have those tests once in a while with the trainer to see that I'm doing good, kind of being ready, because every time if he wasn't ready when the rush comes in, he was in a deep shit. Ice, following the puck, tracking the puck, being on the top of the game that way, positioning, not going too far outside, staying mostly on the top of the crease on the blue ice. And this was maybe the most important thing of these 5. And that's his game. And what's the result of Leo to play his game is that he's on the top of the game all the time. But this was the kind of final result of this goal setting thing. Do you guys have thoughts, questions about this, what we did? For this goalie, this part was also really important, because he can find something from the numbers, and it's important for him to see the numbers all the time.
I have maybe a dumb question. So which kind of physical evaluation are you doing for goalies, and which one do you think are important?
Well, I think this jump test is pretty good on that. How high you jump. I think that is pretty good. Just a kind of, I don't know, maybe the kind of a basic tests of the ice, the strength.
And there's some special thing, like a lateral movement or like on a slide board or something?
The lateral move would be really good to test, I think, also on the off ice, but I haven't done nothing like that. We have been just going with the same tests as the players. thing. Like, I think it covers up pretty well the whole physics, also the kind of goalie specific things.
Did Leo get pulled out of the net during the game at all during the season?
Once in the Geneva.
And how was your communication with him, or did you guys talk about it, or did you just?
He's such a professional that he wasn't like hard, or the person he is. He's not like arrogant at all. He's like really down.
But did you need to help him quickly put it behind him and get ready for the next game, or is that?
Well, maybe yes, but in the end, he was always like a goalie. If he played a bad game, he's gonna bounce back in the next one. So I didn't need to do that so much because he was so kind of tough from mental side that he didn't need help that much. Okay, maybe he need that there is somebody who is calm and who is not panicking, and he's just showing the facts and what caused the bad game from my eyes and caused the pulling the goalie in the end. So maybe that, but just again learning from that and staying in the process, because it was just in the end it was just the one game on the road.
What's the first test? Sorry, IVO.
This is really hard to explain because it's basically this test you can only do it in the post-finance arena in Bern. It's like they run around the stands, and then they have a little break, and then they run some stairs, and then they run again one round in the stands. So that's basically test you can only do in that specific arena.
I would be interested in what Ron just asked. For example, you talk about Leo. Like, how do you communicate with, let's say, your backup goalie? You know, because I mean, we were talking about basically like one goalie plays. We were talking about professional here. You have a backup. I mean, how much time or energy or communication do you talk to, like? Because I mean, I think the backup is probably someone that probably needs a more.
He needs more
mental support.
Yes. Yeah, for sure, that mental support. And we had maybe a challenge was that there was moments, especially in October and November, when he was playing better, but still the number one goalie played more. So it was like he felt like this is not fair. But I think it's more like if you have a like normal practice day, it's not a game day, then you're working more with the backup goalie. Okay, it depends about the day. If there is a day when you can also work on the ice with the number one goalie, then you can work with him too. And also the game days, we always went on the ice 30 minutes before the team. We had a good chance to work there 30 minutes. Maybe also after the morning skate, we kept going. But it's like all the time. I try to keep on saying that what is the best thing in this moment that you can do to yourself? Is it like whining and complaining and finding the excuses, not working at all, being negative person in front of the team? And if you're like that, and then the number one goalie gets injured, his season is over and you have to jump in, are you ready? You know, what is the best kind of favor you can do for yourself is to kind of be ready when the moment comes. Sometimes for sure it's frustrating, but it's a lot of kind of working with the goalie on the ice, off the ice, and lots of kind of being close to him, being like talking and kind of like hanging out. More questions? This was the first session of this whole thing. I know this is, for me this feels like so, this whole thing feels like so big thing that it's really hard to put it on the words, and in this time we have that you can really get everything how you want to tell. But for me this thing and then those previous slides that's the most important thing for me as a coach. That you're coaching that human, that person, helping him to develop and kind of finding that ownership.
Okay, for example, now you met the guy who is example, okay? Good athlete, good goalie, good person. Did you also find somebody at the work, the other type of person, athlete, and the good goalie, okay, for example? He's lazy, he's a good goalie, okay, he's got potential, but he doesn't want to work as much. How to do with them, for example?
Well, I saw it closely. You guys know, maybe you know Veini Vehviläinen, who is one of the goalies in Finnish team here in the World Champs, and he has been like jumping really high right now. Last 2 years, he's been the best goalie in the Finnish league in Oulun Kärpät. I was coaching him in the national junior teams, and he was a little bit maybe, I don't know, maybe finding a little bit excuses and maybe not working that hard that he could. He was a really, really talented goalie when he was a really good goalie, one of the best in Finland for sure in the ages, I would say. But it was always like really tough and hard to work because he didn't have that inner motivation inside of him. But all the time we just kept on saying that what do you want and what it takes and you know what you should do and why you should do this, but it's all about you. We cannot do these things for you. And then there was, in one moment, I remember when we were working in the national junior team for the World Juniors, there was a tournament in November and something happened inside of his head. The lamp was on when we went to the World Juniors. He was such a kind of ready to practice, work hard, do whatever it takes, and now he can really get all of his potential out right now. But how to answer on that question is that I think that talking with the goalie, that he understands or she understands what it takes, and maybe also being realistic and honest that right now you are not doing that. You have this much potential, but you are kind of lacking that all the time with your daily work. So that he or she will understand that what it takes. I don't know. Is that a good answer? Let's do it so that let's go to the lunch now because we have to start. Is it 1:30?
So 1:30 we started the lecture.
1:30, and if you get some more ideas and questions, whatever, from this, we can continue on the next session. The next session is more about the game. Okay, thanks guys. Enjoy the lunch.